Title: My ex-wife and her new husband sued me for my entire life savings in court. Then I handed the judge one FBI document. His face went pale. Lock the doors now. Nobody leaves. Family fraud exposed story. The courtroom smelled like cold paper and stale coffee. Her lawyer was already smirking. His too. The two of them, my ex-wife and her shiny new husband, sat side by side, whispering like vultures before a feast. My feast. The judge adjusted his glasses. "We'll proceed with the claim," he said, pen ready to sign away my life. That's when I slid the envelope across the table. A single page. The seal of the FBI at the top. The judge's eyes scanned it once, twice. His knuckles tightened. Then his voice cut through the silence. "Lock the doors. Now. Nobody leaves." I'd known her since college. The kind of love story people post about, all smiles and sunset photos. We built everything together. Our home, our savings, our plans. We talked about trust like it was unbreakable glass. But glass doesn't just shatter. Sometimes it's etched. Slowly, invisibly, until one day it breaks in your hands. When she met him, at least that's what she told me, it was after we had drifted apart. I believed her. I even wished her well. We split clean. Or so I thought. The first crack appeared when my accountant called. "Did you authorize a withdrawal of $50,000? I hadn't, but she had access to the joint account back then. I figured it was a mistake. Then came the property tax notice for a cabin I didn't own. A cabin under my name, purchased 6 months after our divorce. It was him and her, signing contracts with my forged signature, transferring assets, slowly draining accounts I didn't even remember opening. By the time I pieced it all together, they weren't just stealing, they were building an empire on my credit. And now they were suing me for damages because I'd withheld assets during the divorce. That was the moment the grief stopped, and the planning began. I didn't confront them, not yet. Instead, I went silent. I smiled when we passed in public. I answered their legal threats with polite denials. I let them think I was cornered. Meanwhile, I dug. I hired a private investigator, the quiet kind who prefers coffee shops over offices. I sifted through bank records, corporate filings, property deeds. I traced transactions through 3 shell companies, all tied back to one address, the new husband's consulting business. Every transfer, every forged document, every offshore deposit, I recorded it all. Then I made one call. Not to my lawyer, not to the police, to the FBI's white-collar crime unit. They were interested, very interested. "Play along," the agent told me. "We need them confident enough to walk right into it." For 6 months, I played the victim. I let them think they'd beaten me. I sent no countersuit. I made no public accusations. I let their arrogance grow fat and careless. On the day of the hearing, I arrived with nothing but that single envelope. They came with boxes of fabricated evidence, falsified statements, and smug grins. The judge began reviewing their proof, nodding along, until I spoke. "Your Honor, before you proceed, you should see this." The paper inside the envelope was an FBI affidavit. It detailed a joint investigation into fraud, money laundering, and forgery, naming both of them as prime suspects. Attached were copies of every falsified signature, every offshore transfer, every damning detail. The judge froze. His pen stopped mid-air. His eyes darted to the court officers. "Lock the doors," he ordered, voice low but sharp. My ex-wife's smile collapsed into a twitch. The new husband's hands started trembling. The FBI agents in the back row, quiet until now, stood and walked forward. "Mr. and Mrs. Carter," one agent said, "you're under arrest for multiple counts of fraud and forgery." The room erupted. Gasps, whispers, the scrape of chairs. She turned to me, eyes wide, lips parted like she wanted to beg. I just looked at her. No anger, no pity, just the quiet satisfaction of a man who had waited for the exact right moment to pull the trigger. They were escorted out in handcuffs, their so-called empire already freezing under federal order. Every stolen dollar, every forged signature, they would answer for all of it. As the courtroom emptied, the judge handed my envelope back. "You played this well," he said quietly. I walked out into the sunlight, lighter than I'd felt in years. They had tried to bury me under lies. I'd buried them under the truth. Sometimes revenge isn't fire and fury. Sometimes it's patience. Sometimes it's watching the walls close in 1 inch at a time until they can't move. And when it happens, you don't smile. You just breathe. Because the game is over, and you've already won.